Ireland is known for very happy, fun-loving people, great attitude, many in this room right now that I've met. Why in the world would you let Rosie O'Donnell move to Ireland? I think she's going to lower your happiness level.
It's true. Thank you. I like that question.
Mr. Prime Minister, are you expecting?
Do you know who she is?
Yeah.
I'm joking.
You better off not knowing.
President Trump, it's okay.
I'm here to raise the issues that people of Ireland face, you know, and it'll be music to the people of Ireland's ears, because never on the main stage has the issues the people of Ireland face been spoke. You know, our government has long since abandoned the voices of the people of Ireland, and it's high time that America is made aware of what is going on in Ireland. What is going on in Ireland is a travesty.
Well, hey everybody, it's me, Rosie O'Donnell, star of the Flintstones. And tomorrow, which is Friday, March 21st, I'm going to be on The Late Late Show here in Ireland. It's live from 9:30 till 11 p.m., and it's the longest running live talk show in the world. In the world. So it's a huge honor to be asked.
Conor McGregor ended up in the Oval Office this week. What do you think that says about the state of US politics?
It's very depressing. And it seems very strange to me that the President of the United States has so many friends who are sexual abusers.
Why do you think...
All right, guys, so we got to talk about washed up Hollyweird actress Rosie O'Donnell, who has decided to self-deport to Ireland. Okay, we briefly talked about this story when it first broke. She posted a video on TikTok in which she talked about self-deporting, leaving, evacuating the United States of America to move to Ireland because of her Trump derangement. Now, during my initial reaction to this video, I said, you know, it must really be sad, okay? It must be a sad life to live the way that these Hollyweird celebrities are living, where you have all this money, all this fame, which, again, is supposed to bring happiness. But apparently, the only thing that can make these people happy is to be as far away as possible from President Trump. But clearly, President Trump is still living rent-free in their heads, okay? Because Rosie O'Donnell, to celebrate her 63rd birthday, after moving to Ireland, she decided to go on a late show in Ireland to talk about President Trump, right? And her move to Ireland, okay? AKA, she's still thinking about Trump, even though she's thousands of miles away overseas in another country. Trump is still on her mind, okay? And she is going to go on a Trump deranged rant, during which she demands an investigation into the 2024 election, because it sounds like, according to her, Elon Musk working with President Trump to help him win the election is enough to investigate, because President Trump winning all of the swing states was such an anomaly to her, right? It's so unexplainable that, hey, there should be an election to figure out whether or not President Trump won fair and square. Take a look.
You stuck out the last Trump presidency. Mm-hmm. What's different about this one for you that made you realize you're out?
Well, right away was the problem with Project 2025, which the Heritage Foundation put out, and it detailed what they wanted to do. And I felt that anyone who read that would not be able to sleep as an American.
What type of stuff was in that?
Well, gutting all of the social programs, as he has been doing. Just the other day, he disbanded the Department of Education. And I have a child who has autism, and that child will be denied services, and many, many autistic children, because the funding for these programs for special needs children comes from the federal government as well as the states. And it's going to be disastrous for children on the spectrum. And that was terrifying. But the biggest reason that it was different than the first time he was in office is because of the Supreme Court giving him ultimate power, the powers of a king or a monarch. And that's not what the United States is all about. And it's a terrifying prospect. And in fact, what has happened since he's taken office has been terrifying, I think, for the world and definitely for the United States of America.
You know, a lot of people did vote for him.
Yes.
Do you accept their their right to do that in their opinion of him?
Well, I respect their right to do that. I question why the first time in American history a president has won every swing state and is also best friends, and his largest donor was a man who owns and runs the internet. So I would hope that that would be investigated and that we would see whether or not it was an anomaly or something else that happened on election night in America when Kamala Harris was filling up stadiums with people who supported her, and Donald Trump was not able to do that. So it's curious to me. And as an American and a believer in democracy, I would hope that we would be able to look at all of the reasons why this happened in our country.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Okay, that is Rosie O'Donnell going full-blown blue anon conspiracy theorist election denier, right? Because this is what Democrats said, okay? If you question the outcome of the election, if you say, hey, I believe there's some funny business going on here, yeah, that means that you're an insurrectionist, okay, according to the Democrats, okay? So, you know, where are the Democrats and the liberals denouncing this type of rhetoric? Because you're not supposed to question the outcome of elections when you lose, right? When you lose, you get an outcome that you don't like. You're supposed to just accept it no matter what, right? Clearly, Rosie O'Donnell is not doing that, okay? Clearly, she's pushing this conspiracy that has been going around in far left circles about how Elon Musk must have been involved with President Trump winning the election by using Starlink, right? This is the far left conspiracy theory they were putting out there, okay? Again, the type of stuff that would have got you banned from the internet had you been a Trump supporter making these same types of accusations and claims and pushing these conspiracy theories back after the 2020 election, right? And again, you know, clearly liberals are just allowed to push whatever conspiracies they want about elections without any consequences, which is not something that conservatives were able to do after the 2020 election. Again, it's just amazing how that works. But again, despite the false claims of the election not being fair from these liberals, what they refuse to acknowledge is the fact that the reason why Kamala Harris lost is because she was just a bad candidate, right? And people wanted President Trump back. People understood that our country was in a much better place under President Trump versus what happened when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris took office, right? And Rosie O'Donnell clearly does not understand that the support for Kamala Harris was fake, right? She was fooled by the marketing from the Kamala campaign, okay? That, again, was propped up by fakeness. Everything was fake, okay? Including Kamala Harris going to the store to get a bag of chips, a bag of Doritos. It was all fake. It was all scripted. She was going into restaurants in which she already had paid actors come into the restaurant to make sure that nobody would say anything to her that she didn't like, okay? Or that, you know, she would get heckled or anything like that, right? Or booed. Everything that she did was fake. It was staged, okay? And there's no doubt in my mind that at least some of her rallies, she probably had people who came, who knows, probably were bussed or paid or something. I'm just saying that there are reasonable explanations for why is it that Kamala had all of this support, but she lost, right? It's because the support was fake, okay? A lot of it was staged, okay? We cover these stories over and over and over again throughout the election cycle. Kamala Harris did not have real support, okay? The only people that actually supported her, again, were the far left Trump deranged base of the Democrat Party that didn't support her because they liked her. They supported her because they hated Trump, okay? A vast majority of Kamala's support came via hatred of Trump, not because she was some spectacular candidate, some, you know, generational talent or anything like that. No, they tried to make her seem like she was a generational talent, but a lot of it was forced. A lot of it was fake. In real life, people weren't really feeling Kamala like that. And ultimately, again, that's why we saw the outcome of the election end up the way that it did, right? But for whatever reason, Rosie O'Donnell, she can't comprehend that. Oh, no, the election, there must have been some funny business going on, right? We should investigate because there's no way that Kamala could have lost with the crowd sizes, okay? It's amazing how this works, right? Absolutely amazing. These arguments sound eerily similar to the same arguments that Trump supporters were making after the 2020 election. Now, all of a sudden, liberals are saying the same thing, okay? But again, when Trump supporters were making this argument, no. They're crackpots, right? They're conspiracy theorists. You know, they're just mad that their guy lost. Like, again, that's essentially the argument that liberals were making just 4 years ago. And now all of a sudden when they lose, They are pushing their conspiracies, okay? So regardless, my overall point of this is that, again, it must be a very, very, very sad life to live the way that Rosie O'Donnell is currently living her life, okay? Imagine being a 60-plus-year-old celebrity woman. She's probably, again, she's worth millions of dollars, right? She's rich. Okay, overall, she should be happy with life. Okay, she should be chilling, stress-free. Regardless of what happens over the next 4 years, she's going to be fine, right? But yet, you're living a miserable life. Clearly, mentally, she's suffering, okay, due to her Trump derangement. Moving thousands of miles overseas, and you still have President Trump living rent-free in your head, right? Again, it's just sad. It really is. To the point where you're celebrating your birthday by going on a late-night show to talk trash about the former president, even though you've moved to an entirely different country. But yet for your birthday, instead of just living your life and truly being happy, no, I'm going to go on national television and to boohoo, whine, and cry about Trump from another country after self-deporting. It's sad, right? It must be really, really, really sad. So, you know, at some point, I'm starting to really kind of feel for some of these individuals that are Trump deranged, right? I mean, they just can't help it. They can't help it. And, you know, I really hope that they find peace, right? That they find happiness, because it must be sad to be so rich, okay? To have such a blessed life, okay? To have a life that I think most people would want to have, right? A lot of people would want to be in Rosie O'Donnell's shoes in regards to her status and fame and her wealth, but yet she can't enjoy her happiness due to the fact that, again, she's severely Trump deranged, okay? And this is why I say a lot of these people that are Trump deranged, you know, they should lay on somebody's couch, really. I mean, to be honest with you. But hey, you know, I mean, if you are Trump deranged, okay, if you can't stand President Trump or living in the United States of America under President Trump, then feel free to do exactly what Rosie did. But Rosie let her case be an example of how that is not going to help you, right? That's not going to help you when it comes to dealing with your Trump derangement. Moving to another country is not gonna cure it, right? You can, though. I'm not saying that, hey, you can't move to another country. If you want to do that, if you want to leave America because you don't like it here because of Trump, okay, fine. But just understand, that's not going to solve the problem, right? The problem is within, okay? And when people realize that who knows, maybe they will achieve peace, okay, and true happiness. But until they get rid of Trump derangement, it doesn't matter where they go on the planet. They're still not going to be happy. And I think that's essentially what this story with Rosie O'Donnell really drives home, in my opinion. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.